Hey everybody, it's Troy again, and this last weekend I took my family, or at least my wife and one of my sons, up to the DC Pen Show. And while I was there, I managed to pick up an order that I had placed through Anderson Pens. There is one particular pen that as soon as it hit the market, I kind of really wanted it. I like oversized pens, I like beautiful pens, and there are some pens that, as soon as I see them, I go, ooh, 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 wouldn't mind having that one. So, this happens to be one of those. The Monteverde Giant Sequoia. Now, with a name like that, I mean, come on, how can you resist? The Giant Sequoia seems to be something that I would want. It kind of fits my personality sometimes. Yeah, let's get the Giant Sequoia. So, here it is. I saw it in the green. I saw it in different colors as well, but this was green. And green is my son's favorite color, not necessarily mine, but I really didn't have any pens in green. But when I saw this green, I said, that's a good looking pen. So I said, I needs to get me one. So, been planning on getting one for a while. It was on my wish list. And I was going to pull the trigger on it when I was going to go to the DC Pen Show, because I knew people would have it in stock. Well, as it turns out, the Andersons were offering DC show pickup. And I'm sure they do that with other pen shows they go to as well. So, even though they weren't the cheapest price to get it, I didn't have to pay for shipping for this and the rest of my order. Now, I had a real long shopping list of stuff I was going to get at the pen show anyway. So what I went ahead and did was I had a bunch of stuff already in my wish list with them, and I just add to my cart, add to my cart, add to my cart. All the stuff that was on my shopping list that I had on my watch list for them, add to the cart, add to the cart, made the purchase, and saved the shipping costs, so I was able to just get this directly from them. Walked up to their table and told them who I was, and then I had an order waiting, and they handed me this big old bag full of stuff, and I covered some of that in my previous video, and this was one of the pens. Now, I did not do a review of it then, and if you know me, if you watched any of my videos, I'm not the kind who really sits and does a whole lot of measurements and stuff, but I'll put up a few measurements here at the end, just because it is a good size pen. And I've got some oversized pens, and I got to find a new home for this, because behind me, you can probably see here, right there, is a set of drawers, and that's fine for skinnier pens like the Parker Vacuumatic I just got. My pen of the day is a Faber-Castell Loom, which barely fits in there. Oversized pens like this will not fit in there. So I've got a cigar box I picked up at a cigar store in town, and it only had 5 slots, so those are all taken up. So this doesn't have a home yet, so I got to find it a good home. Anyway, when I saw this, and this is the first time I've been able to actually touch them, because this is the first pen show that came out where these were available, but I went ahead and ordered it on spec anyway, or speculation that it was going to be something I'd love. So, went ahead and got it. So, show you, it's a silver band. It says Monteverde right there, and it says Sequoia right here on the back side. It's got a nice silver clip. It's kind of stiff. I'm not one who works with clips anyway. Seldom do I wear shirts with pockets in them, but when I do, I always ended up holding it by the clip anyway when I go to put it in my pocket, so I don't worry about how well it clips in just by sticking it in. And I'm certainly not the kind who's going to put it, here in a polo shirt like I'm wearing today. But so when you open it up, it's got the nice medium Monteverde logo on the nib, and it's an oversized pen, so it fits very nicely in the hand. It's got a slightly tapered barrel towards the end. It's got the flat here. It's got the little screws. It's a screw top. And the section, the only thing I don't like about that section is it's not quite long enough. I would have gone just a little longer just so I could have a good grip. So the grip's a little shorter than I thought it would be. But that's not problematic, really. It's still not too bad. All things considered. The screw does not really hurt because there's a little step down, and then you get the screw threads, and then it'll step down to the section. but that's not a problem. So, can you use it posted? It does not throw it out of balance. Surprisingly enough, with a big pen like this, it doesn't really throw it out of balance all that much, so it's still not difficult to write with. Is it a necessity? Probably not, because it's such a large pen, which is one of the things I like about oversized pens. You got big paws like mine, then you tend to like the idea of either you can go with or without posting it. Either way, I'd feel comfortable being able to write with it for a while. So, what are some of the things I liked about it and versus stuff I didn't like? Gotta be honest with you. When I first got this pen, because it came in a nice, the standard Monteverde box, and I can get up and get you that box and show you what it looks like, but if you've seen one Monteverde box, you've seen them all, because they use the same box. Well, it wrote horrible when I first got it. I was very disappointed in how it wrote. This is a fresh from the factory pen. It shouldn't write that crappy. In the family, we've got 4 other Monteverdes. Didn't have a problem with a single one. My wife picked up a Monteverde at the same pen show, and it writes fine. I've got Monteverdes in my drawer over here that work just fine. This one was horrendous. It skipped. It was hard to get started. It wouldn't continue to write. It was ink starved. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That should not be. Well, fortunately for me, 2 things. Number one, the Sunday, which for me was just yesterday morning as I'm recording this at the DC Pen Show, I took a nib smoothing seminar with the legendary Richard Binder, and so we spent 90 minutes going over stuff like ink flow and tine alignment and the tapering of the tines, that kind of stuff. That was all part of that workshop. And I've tinkered with them enough. I've watched enough YouTube videos to figure out a little bit how to increase ink flow, and that's one of the things I did. Well, today is August the 7th, so August the 6th is when I did this writing sample. So you can see right here, I inked this sucker up with some Papier Plume, and this is my first time ever using a Papier Plume ink, because the supplier that I've normally used for ink samples doesn't carry that brand. So along with that pen, I got a bunch of ink samples that are not available at the other major online retailer from whom I purchase. But and I like them both, by the way. I don't have a beef against one or the other. I like both vendors, and they're great people to meet. I got a chance to see them both sets of husbands and wives at the pen show. But I put in an ivy green just to kind of go with the green pen, and I had to keep writing over myself. I had to keep going over the letters. It was terrible. So that was just last night. So I sat and I played with it for just a little bit, and just some simple movements of the tines with my fingers, and I don't have a lot of fingernail, but I was able to increase the ink flow a little better. So, any better on the tines the next time? Well, it wrote better after doing a little alignment, just it still wasn't 100%. So today, I went back to it, checked on it again, wanted to see how well it was doing. Doing a lot better today, so just a little bit more adjustment, and it continued to write better. So just a little bit of nib work, and I'm doing well. So I've been sitting here doodling a little bit today. Everything that you see is green is me playing with the Giant Sequoia pen. So, did I just get a dud of a nib? Did I just get something that was not adjusted properly from leaving the factory? Probably so. Not a shocker to me, not because of the brand, but because that's the way my life tends to go. So, it's just like I've got a MontBlanc 149 that I'm not impressed with how it writes. Totally underwhelmed by how it writes. Was very disappointed with it. Between what I saw at the pen show versus when I got back to my hotel and inked it up. So anyway, the Giant Sequoia. Been wanting it, got it. Am I disappointed in the purchase? Absolutely not. I do like this pen. I do like it a lot. And now that it's writing properly, I think I'm going to enjoy it a whole lot more. It's a good size. It's comfortable to write with. It's not too heavy. I like oversized pens. And look at this is just a beautiful green. I'm not a lover of green pens, but doggone, this is a good looking pen. So, yeah, maybe I'll just throw up a few statistics for you, since I'm not one to generally sit here and do it. I'm the kind of guy that I just want to know what people think when I look at videos. Okay, what's your opinion? Because that's what you're here doing, is giving me your opinion. Do you like it? Does it write well? Would you buy it again, kind of thing. That's how I get my pen choices. That's how when I see someone review a pen, I'd be honest with you, when I see them put up statistics as to how much it weighs or how much how long is it, right over my head, don't really care, and I just pay very little attention to that. I just want to know an objective opinion. Does it work for you? Do you like it? Would you recommend it? Would you buy it? Is it a good value? These retail right now for $76 on most distributor websites. Is it worth 76 bucks? If it's writing well, if it's tuned well, yeah, probably so, because I like it. And it's something that I wanted. It's definitely the size pen, and the design is just a beautiful design. It's one that I wanted in my collection. So, anyway, ciao.